Hi, this is Barry J. McDonald, and I'd like to welcome you to today's blog post over at writecom.com. And today we had a look at reading and why it will make you rich. Now, I think the thought of why we need so much knowledge to make money online is probably something that happened when we were back at school. You know, we had to learn a lot of books and go through a different curriculum, and then by the end of it, we were told, whether we knew enough about the subject or not. And I think from that belief, then when it comes to online marketing, a lot of us feel that we need to own, every ebook that's out there, every report. And because of that, we end up with a hard drive that's just clogged full of clutter that we never actually take use of. And, you're probably the same yourself. You probably have a wealth of knowledge on your hard drive that you'd never looked at. You probably have reports that you've gone through, and if I asked you any questions on them, you'd probably be hard to remember any of the content that was on it. And what I just like to say is, reading all this content isn't going to make you rich, and it's only kind of acting on that knowledge that you're going to actually get anywhere. You're better off to buy a report maybe on some subject that you're working on in the minute. So for example, if you were maybe starting an Instagram account, buy a report on, tips and tricks or whatever with Instagram, and then as soon as you finish that report, immediately put that knowledge into use and work for it. Because I've seen before, from collecting all that knowledge in the past, eventually you come to a loop where you actually come back round again, and then all of a sudden you find yourself buying reports and you're reading through them and you're saying to yourself, well, I know how to do that already. There must be some other secret trick or tip that I'm not, that I don't know, and then you go buy something else, and then you find that you've already got a report on that subject as well, and you end up that you can nearly write all the content that you start buying because you already know it all. And then you're going to find other people maybe to buy one or two reports, and all of a sudden they just take off and they start working on the content that they've found, and they're making leaps and strides far beyond you have, for the wealth of knowledge that you have. I've heard it before. I think it was Dan Kennedy had said it about someone who was going to these high-priced seminars, and this person would be available maybe for the first half morning of the seminar, and then they would just disappear and they wouldn't be seen for the remainder of the event. So if the event was on maybe for 3 or 4 days, they'd turn up, do the first half morning, and then suddenly disappear and never be seen after that. And it ended up that a lot of people that were at the seminar was, kind of shrugging their shoulders and looking at each other as if to say, well, this guy isn't getting his money's worth. What kind of a clown is this where he's only paying, all this money and only getting, half a morning's content. But they found later on then that that when it came to somebody that was actually taking the most use out of this knowledge and actually putting it into action, it was the person that actually showed up and only done that half an hour's morning. And what they did was they took notes for that half an hour or that half morning, and then left and went straight up to the hotel room, and then immediately then got in touch with their team or started doing it themselves. But they actually started taking action on that half a morning's content that they had discovered. And because of that, then their business, doubled, tripled, or whatever it was, but it actually, it multiplied many, many times over, even though they're only actually, recording a small portion of the knowledge that was given out at that event. So you're going to find that then too. You're going to have a lot of knowledge coming in, but if your action on the other end is a tiny bit, like if you can imagine a triangle, and the bottom of the triangle is all the knowledge that you have, and the top of the triangle is the tiny bit of action that you're actually taking on that knowledge, you're never going to make money, and you're never going to do well online because of it. So just a little tip, something that I heard before, was just take that triangle and invert it, and rather than the large bit being at the bottom, have the tip at the bottom. And this is the point where you have a small bit of knowledge, and the widest part is at the top, and the widest part is where you take action. So you actually invert the triangle upside down. So what you do instead is, rather than having a lot of knowledge and little action, you take a little knowledge and you do a vast amount of action on that knowledge. So I hope you enjoyed this quick blog post today, but just to make you aware of that, all the knowledge that you have, if you're not putting it into action, it's just taking up, space on your hard drive and in your head that you're never going to use. Again, going back to the memories we had from school, like all those classes that we sat through, was a really a need for all that content, because when you left school then, was a really, did you get much use of it at all the things you learned, other than maybe just reading and mathematics and stuff like that, but everything else is just totally thrown by the way. So don't feel that you need to know everything before you take, start with the smallest bit of knowledge and take massive action on it, and you're going to see great results from it. So my name has been Barry J. McDonald. This has been today's blog post over at rightcom.com, and I highly recommend you drop by to the homepage, because we have 2 great reports at the moment. One of them is how to sell more books, and another one is 10 ways to make money from your words. So if you'd like to get those 2 reports, come on over to rightcom.com. That's WRITECOME.com. Take care and have a great day. Bye bye.